Okay, it's a great pleasure being with you today here in this global congress. And we will start by introducing one of our main speakers. And I would like to invite Mr. David Bowe, Apple Distinguished Educator, to the stage to give his address, Learning Everywhere, School in a Box. So please give a very warm welcoming to Dr. Bowe.
Okay. That's on now. I can hear that. Excellent. So I'm here to talk to you about School in a Box. School in a Box was a concept evolved around a kitchen table, actually, by a guy called Gordon Shuckwood, who's going to be someone in the audience, and an Irishman and an Englishman. It's not the start of a joke, by the way. And this is what School in a Box looks like. It is a combination of different tools, including an iPad, that will enable schools all over the world to make the most of technology. Because we know that most schools have an aspiration that they can make learning better for their students. And that applies to universities and colleges all over the world. We want to make learning better. So there's an aspiration. And no matter what the school looks like, they have an aspiration that they would have maybe some of these facilities. Some of these facilities that might be normal for some of us, but in a lot of colleges and schools, they're not. This is a picture of a school in Nepal. And the problem that a lot of these schools have is there a bit of feedback coming from somewhere. A problem a lot of these schools have is that they just haven't got these facilities. And there are other problems. And with that school that I was taking a picture of, there are problems that there's no technology at all, there's no electricity, and there's no internet. And School in a Box was designed to help with that. And maybe people thought that the iPad would be able to provide some of those things. For example, an art studio, interactive whiteboard, science lab, all those sorts of facilities. And via certain apps, that can be achieved technologically. Yeah, we could provide apps that have a whiteboard. We could provide art apps. We could provide music studio apps, examples. So those apps, this is having slight issues here. Okay. That's the technology side, but the pedagogy has to be right. And I know Ruben is going to talk about this mix, this interaction of technology and pedagogy and content later on. However, we have to empower teachers and faculty members to use this technology to the best advantage. We do know that if we don't do that, if we don't empower the people delivering this, some of you in the audience here, the results will be disappointing. We've seen research from things like the One Laptop Per Child program, where pedagogy was not put at the front and teachers weren't empowered, that things haven't been as successful as we would wish. And this is for all sorts of different reasons. Classrooms throughout the world come in different shapes and forms. In a lot of classroom situations, things are delivered from the front of the classroom by a teacher. And what this program said was, we can provide teachers with new tools and content to help them deliver the learning in the classroom. And School in a Box, if I'll do a little demonstration of what School in a Box looks like. I haven't got one with me, but I thought I'd put one up here. We start with an iPad. That's then connected to a projector. This is all battery powered. We provide them with a set of speakers. So in that little box is all these things, all battery powered. You can see we have a sheet here, which is pinned to the wall, just a normal sheet. And the content is then projected onto that sheet. Inside the box, there's a solar panel, and there is internet connectivity via satellite, and also spare batteries to make sure the thing can be powered through a full school day. And the premise of this project was that we would help teachers do more from the front of the classroom. Actually, in practice, as I'll explain later on, things changed a little bit because these things called students got in there and started doing things with it. So we'll talk about that. So why did we decide to do this? We wanted to make sure that we met the different learning styles of the students. Because in a lot of these schools that we were dealing with, it was teaching from the front, a lot of learning by rote, and a lot of note-taking. We wanted to engage learners, and we also wanted to give them content that they'd not had access to before. So, how could this be used in this sort of context? Well, the first thing, we could provide content via apps and other materials. Okay, so that's the first thing we could do. We could get them interacting with that. We could get them to adapt their existing curricular content. Now, in your case, it's probably some PowerPoint presentations that you have or whatever, but in their case, they're probably the one textbook that they have in the classroom. Okay? So what we were saying is, how can you use your existing content and use that to help your students? And then we also got them to create original content. Okay, so that was the idea, that we would get them creating original content, using existing content, and using content within apps. Now, I was given a job to try and implement this in different places, and I thought I'd talk to you a little bit how I got the job and related it to two separate organizations. One is an organization, a charity called Karuna Setchen. The other one is a non-profit organization called the Institute of Art and Design and Technology in Ireland. And this is how getting this job. So driving the car, and it's not like your roads here in the UK where I live. I was in a traffic jam. And I also have my iPad with me, and this sort of message pops up, okay, from this guy called Alan, who I've known for years. And I have to put his accents on. Got a job for you, if you're interested. Okay, a bit of Apple professional development in Tibet. What do you think? Let me know, okay? I'm driving. But I do something that's illegal in my country. I do reply, okay? A little bit short and to the point. And this is how he comes back, and that's my total information about this job. Of course, it has to be done as soon as possible, as everything is with this individual. And that's my answer. Okay, I'll see what I can do. All right? So I do what all normal people do. I Google where this charity is. And I don't know if you noticed something about this map. It's not an error with the mapping system. Okay? We've heard enough about it. But this is where I had to fly to. Okay? Now there's something wrong there. There's no roads, are there? So I then did what any normal person would do, is sort of zoom out and change maybe to satellite view, and this is what it looked like. So it transpires my friend Alan, it was not in Tibet, it's actually in the top northwest corner of Nepal. Now, why send me? Well, have any of you filled in a profile online? I'm sure you all have, or LinkedIn, Facebook, or whatever. You filled in a profile online, is that right? Well, I'm an Apple Distinguished Educator, and I have to fill in a profile online, and this is my profile. And somewhere when I was filling this profile, it says, what languages do you speak? Okay. Strange combination of languages. The reason that I do speak some Nepali is that at the age of 17, I left school and joined the British Army and became a Gurkha. And Gurkhas, as you may know, come from Nepal. That's why I speak some Nepali. However, I hadn't used it for about 25 years. It's still on the profile. So yeah, here's me as a very young, slim man in Nepal. And I ended up getting this job to go and deliver Apple Professional Development, which is teacher professional development for Apple technologies, to the teachers in this school up in the northwest corner of Nepal. And I'll sort of give you an idea of how we got there. It's a matter of flying to Kathmandu, then flying almost back into India, then flying up into the hills. Now, that airport that I showed you is 10 days' walk away from the nearest road. And it was only then that it transpired that the school that I was actually going to go to is 3 days' walk away from the airport. And I had to get 10 boxes of iPads up there. And this is sort of how we did it, with a lot of excess baggage, I have to say, on an interesting airline. Obviously, we had to buy all our provisions before we went, and we end up at this airport here in the mountains at 3,500 meters, which is quite high, and even in June, very cold. We then need to get all our kit carried up into the mountains. Now, please don't get me wrong with this next image. We didn't ask a whole load of elderly ladies to carry our baggage and all our stuff up there. But this lady did actually carry our stuff from the baggage handling area, if you can call it, to where we had to get it onto horses. But I've taken this picture for a specific reason. Can you tell me, apart from carrying something heavy, what is this lady doing? She's in a pose that we are very familiar with. She's on her mobile phone. In the middle of nowhere, at 3,500 meters, she's on her mobile phone. We have a lot of preconceptions about what the developing world is like. They do have technology, okay? So that was my first thing. She was actually arranging the next job for her crew to go and carry stuff. We then took a road. The equivalent of the Al-Ain road from Dubai to here, okay? And this is what the road looks like. This is the main road where we carried all these iPads up. Sometimes, if anyone suffers from vertigo, I'll just show you where the people are on this image here. So all our stuff was carried up on a variety of different beasts. Okay, this is a cross between a cow and a yak, by the way. It's called a gomblo, I think. And here's our stuff going up on horseback. So what we have to remember is, to get up to this school, everything is carried. It's carried on the back of something. But some interesting things are carried. Okay, remember what those paths look like? And this is my other misconception about what it's like for people living up there. This is obviously a satellite dish. Okay, and when you looked around houses up there, you see this. This is no government intervention. This is individuals actually empowering themselves with technology. Because not only is this just to get Indian and satellite television, there is telephone and there is internet. At a price, at a price. And all the villages I went through on this 3 days walk had electricity. This is hydropower up to a village like this up in the hills, where still people are subsistence farming. So, back to the story. We got all this stuff eventually up to the hills to the Himalayan Children's Society, which is the school where I was based. This school was by a farmer who donated his land to the school for 200 children 180 of which board. They actually sleep at the school. And they have an interesting term system, not a traditional term system. The children there are there for 10 months, then they have a 2-month break. Because it's such a difficult journey for the parents to come and collect their children. So they have a 10-month term, then a 2-month break during the winter. So this is the school, and this is a traditional classroom. Now, after 25 years of not being in Nepal, I forgot something really crucial. Nepalis are generally shorter than Europeans. The average height being about 5'2", 5'4". This doorway is not a standard sized doorway. So within about 2 minutes of arriving at this school, I was having to have medical help, having spilt blood all over the floor. But it is a traditional school. Children have music lessons and other sort of lessons, Nepali, Tibetan, English, science, mathematics, all the normal sort of lessons you'd expect. But what we were able to do was take these boxes up into the school. I was able to start delivering my professional development. I was there for 4 days. I had spent a lot of time learning about solar power, because I thought this is what I'd have to teach these people. How wrong was I? They were teaching me how all this stuff works because they all use it every day. And these are the solar panels that come in the boxes that charges all the equipment. And then I took them through the normal professional development we do with our devices, introducing them to the devices, showing them how the international settings work, how they can get a Tibetan keyboard, how they can get a Nepali keyboard, how they can get an English keyboard, all those sorts of things. So they start exploring what's available, looking at the apps. And I'm just showing you this picture because it's quite interesting, isn't it? The way that, this is mid sort of June, maybe the warmest part of the year, and people are wearing hats and down jackets. So we took them through a process of professional development, showing them exploring the devices, showing them how they could use that in their curriculum, getting them to create their own content that was relevant for their own context. So I'm going to show you a short video in a second, showing you what this looked like, because it's much more interesting than listening to me talk. Some sound?
School in the box is designed very well, the hardcover to protect the sensitive things inside, and with the solar backing up, it can be used in big schools, small schools, remote schools. Even in remote school where there's no electricity, the solar backup that it has is very good to use. The good thing about iPad is we can include our curriculum in the iPad. At the same time, different things like, for instance, how aeroplane flies, we can show it practically in visual in the classroom. That will make a big difference in learning.
You can make the box bigger by pulling on a corner.
But I am teaching science subject here since 2 years. I think this makes really different in the education system in the remote part of the world.
Happy, H-A-P-P-Y, happy. From yesterday's training, you have seen what iPad is, what it can do. And now this is a time of technology, it's a time of computer, and we must walk with the time. And this will be a very useful tool for the teachers to teach to the students.
Now, a lot of people ask me, why did they want technology in that village up in the mountains? They wanted to empower their students with skills that would hopefully keep them in the village. Because what they want to make sure is that they have those skills and they can do things like direct marketing. Because at the moment, if they create some jewelry, that jewelry is sold through a third party in Kathmandu, then sold through India, and then taken onto the Western world. There is a real issue there in what they can do. If they can sell directly, they can have a chance of keeping more of that money in the community. The other thing is tourism. This is a beautiful part of the world. There is a very famous mountain nearby called Mount Kailash. I don't know if people have heard of it. It's a religious mountain in the Hindu and Buddhist religions. A lot of pilgrims go to that mountain. At the moment, most of them bypass that village. What they want to do is market themselves and have some sort of control over what happens in that village. There's a real purpose to them getting hold of this technology. And so we went through this Apple professional development process, and we taught the teachers how they could teach with this device. Now, there were lots of very interested young people around. That caused a fair amount of excitement having these iPads. And what we discovered was that they wanted to get their hands on them too. And then it became quite interesting, because they started doing things with them that maybe the teachers hadn't thought of. And I know Ruben is going to be talking to you later on about the way these devices can be used to their best effect. And what I wanted to do with you was run through with you some of the things that we've discovered over the years of doing this professional development that we know works. And you'll see see how this relates to what Ruben says later on. So what we tried to do was take them from somewhere where they were just learning to read to authoring. Because this is an e-book. E-books are great. They allow you to write notes, to highlight things. They'll even speak it to you if necessary. But is it enough? Is that enough of a resource? So I come from Wales. In Wales, we speak Welsh, as you saw by my bio, my profile. And schools teach Welsh. Students don't start to learn English until they're 7. And what we have discovered is that by using a process that I'm going to show you now, language acquisition is a lot quicker. So what we try and do is use these e-books in a different way. We try and get students to visualize what we're trying to teach them. So they're now expressing what they're reading. And eventually, they can then create their own interpretation using multimedia, audio, video, text, and images, and create their own books. And what we've discovered is that there is improved language acquisition, the reading scores of those students goes up, there's obviously improved motivation, and it is just so easy because I'm not having to teach lots and lots of different steps. Okay, so that's the first thing that we discovered by using this. And when we put the technology in the hands of students, we can take them from being just students to instructors. They can start not only learning, but expressing themselves and getting deeper learning. So in this example, we have the Khan Academy, which you may be familiar with, a series of online lectures, which is great. But what we discovered was, why should they be in class watching these lectures? Why can't they be looking at these lectures before they come to class? I know Peter Scott's going to talk about this later on as well. This idea of them doing some pre-learning. They can also do the normal sort of thing that would happen in a maths lesson. Do some sort of activities. Some activities that normally we would perhaps give them as a handout, a workbook, a textbook or whatever, getting them to try out the maths. There are apps that will help us do that. But the really powerful deep learning came when we got them to use interactive whiteboard software to express their understanding and their learning. And that became, for us as teachers, a really powerful assessment tool, because we had a much better understanding of what they'd learned, because they had expressed it and explained to us their workings. So we discovered that it's actually a better use of lesson time, because we're not there doing the chalk and talk bit at the front. Yeah? There's more active learning. There was a deeper understanding by the student. And very importantly for us as teachers, there was a really good tool for assessment of what they understood, that formative assessment part. The next thing we discovered was in science that yes, we could use traditional EPUB books, but we wanted to create these active learners. And these active learners, we got them to do things like hypothesize using apps on the iPad. So we got them to hypothesize, record what they were doing, and then we could use that as part of their portfolio. But even further, we then got them to use apps. This is an app called Video Physics that enables us to measure things that we really couldn't do before unless we had lots of very expensive equipment. I'm sure in your labs you may have things like light gates. In my day we had ticker tapes, but things that allowed us to measure motion accurately. Here we have apps that will allow us to do that and get the students to express things in a different format. So normally in a lab, you'd get them to write some sort of report. You'd get them to hypothesize on paper and do some investigation, and then report on a normal lab report. Here, we're actually using a multimedia, multimodal way of expression. And what this allowed us to do, thank you, what this allowed us to do was access different learning styles, because as we all know, not all students work in the same way. We got them to investigate for a real purpose with professional tools. We actually got them to test their hypothesis accurately. And what we've discovered in a lot of our schools, I was working in a school about 10 days ago with a science department, they are getting better test scores by using this sort of methodology. So we tried this with the students in Nepal. And when we gave them the iPads, they did some surprising things. I've been told that sometimes students aren't very motivated by studying their own culture and their own literature. It's certainly the case in Wales, where I come from, because it's a struggle to get students to look at literature that was written about 200 or 300 years ago. And I'm sure you have similar issues here. What we discovered was these students were very motivated to express things from their culture using this technology. And I'm going to show you a little video here. This was completely random, I have to say, because these students were so interested in the iPad. We said, look, get hold of one, use it. This is how the camera works. And this is what they did. So what we found was these students were really motivated to use the technology and they needed very little guidance. What we were able to do with professional development was give the teachers the structure that would enable students to really move forward. So really what we're saying is, almost in any scenario, any environment, even the most extreme environment, this can work. So thank you very much for your time. I've been given the signal that I have to finish now. And I'm sure there's a question and answer session later on, I believe. Thank you very much.